Mercedes has been building powerful, high-performance luxury sedans ever since the early 90s in order to compete with BMW's M5 offering. We had things like the old E500 or the 500E, which was co-designed with Porsche. Then when Mercedes and AMG merged in the mid-90s, we had things like the E55, which was a super cool car, the W210, super well built, natural aspirated V8, good power. Then we had my favorite E-Class, the 211, which was a supercharged E55, making about 470, Mercedes may have lied, horsepower, which was a crazy car, fastest production sedan when it came out in 03. Then we had the big V8, the E63 with the 6.2, and then everything went turbocharged. In 2012, the E63 became a twin turbo V8, a lot of power, very fast car. Nowadays, we also have an E63, which is a monster of a car. It's very fast, it's insane, but it also carries an insane price tag. Now, in 2020, unfortunately, we had COVID and all that. If you were looking for a high-performance sedan, of course, you were either looking at Mercedes E63, BMW M5, Audi S6, stuff like that. But what if you don't want to spend 120, 130, 140 grand for an E63, but you still wanted a fast E-Class? There's your option. Mercedes came out with this thing for those exact people that want high performance sedans but don't want to spend the crazy amounts of money to get an E63. Let me introduce you to Mercedes's option. This is a 2020 Mercedes E53 AMG. 53, when I first announced this, I was like, what? Like, that's weird. But trust me, that having driven this car now, I love this car. So the E53 slots between sort of the base model E300 and the E63. It's supposed to fill the gap between a base E-Class and a super powerful, super expensive E-Class. And of course, it's just as nice as the E63 in my opinion, because this thing is fully loaded. So looking at the exterior, it does have AMG styling because it is an AMG. You have the more aggressive front bumper. I really like that front grille. I'm not sure what they call it. It's not Pan America, or the other one that's different, but it's nice. This one does, of course, have Distronic because it is fully loaded. You could tell because of the Mercedes emblem, it's sort of in a glass thing. Beautiful headlights. We do have the AMG upgraded wheels that I guess somebody painted red on the outside. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of that, but that's cool. Of course, we do have around the rear, we do have the quad tail tips because it is a AMG. And honestly, if you didn't know what you were looking at, if you remove all the AMG stuff off of it, you might be confused that this is a regular E-Class, you know, just a highly optioned E300. But that's where this thing kills, because this thing is literally a wolf in sheep's clothing. It is a very quick car, but if you remove those turbo badges and AMG and all that, if you don't know what you're looking at, you wouldn't know what this thing is. But I think the true beauty of this car is in the interior. So let's go ahead and move in to the interior and let me show you guys why I think the E-Class might be the best performance sedan you could buy. So of course, because it is a highly optioned Mercedes E-Class, you do have, Mercedes calls it keyless entry. So keys in my pocket, all you do is you come up to the car, put your hand behind the door handle, and it unlocks, and you go ahead and open it. Now, let me introduce you guys to something that I think is just so beautiful. Look at this brown. This is so classy, but yet these seats are so sporty and so nice. And oh, just take a whiff of that leather. I'm sorry, but it's insane. But the beautiful white with the black outside contrasting with this dark brown, I think it's awesome. I personally would have gone for the white seats because I love that color combo, but this is a second option. It's beautiful. And of course, you do get all this beautiful carbon fiber everywhere. Very high quality. But to hop in the car, obviously it's still a Mercedes sedan, so it's very easy to get in and out of. Now, to fire it up, of course, it's, as I said, it's fully loaded. So all you got to do is keep the key in your pocket or wherever, foot on the brake, and then there's a start button right there. You can even hear that it started, did you? Because this is a turbocharged inline-six with hybrid. We'll talk about that when we get to the motor, but I mean, it's insane. Now, of course, You do get soft close when you close the doors because it's fully option. I love this sound system. We'll get into that in a second, but this has got to be the best sound system in the game. I mean, you just turn up a little bit and look at those tweezers come out. Oh my gosh, I turn it all the way down and they go back in. It's so beautiful in here. I mean, it is a amazing interior. But looking at it, so of course the W213 for the Mercedes E-Class came out in 2017. It was introduced. It was a whole new, you know, obviously platform of the Mercedes. It came with this basically S-Class style dash, because the S-Class, the W222, that really introduced this huge massive screen, this LCD screen that we had in 2014. And then of course everything trickles down from the S-Class. So very beautiful. You have massive screens over here. You have digital gauges, which are awesome. Down there you guys can see power and EQ charge because it is a hybrid. And of course there is a rev limiter, but it is what it is. I think the gauges look awesome. I think they're very pretty. They look very race inspired, so it's really cool. I do have the AMG performance screen in the middle, so it does show us our boost. You have your trans temperature and everything. And the way you move about it is with this. This is actually like a touch dial. Think about it. Like if I scroll to the right, you can see I can move down to that. I can change the different gauges, like the trips and all that. If I wanted it to be with just different stuff, that's like a track pace, which is a special thing. You could do all that. It's basically just you can have nav. It's super cool because it's a full digital dash that you can mess with and do whatever. So you just kind of scroll on it like that. And that's how you really mess with it. So that's really cool. I really like that. Of course, you do also have other options. You have the driver assist, the service, performance. But of course, I'm just going to leave it at, you know, the AMG performance. But everything else, beautiful Alcantara steering wheel with leather stitching everywhere. Nice paddle shifters. This feels high quality. It is leather. It's beautiful. Oh, I love it. I just absolutely love it. At the middle, of course, we have the carbon fiber everywhere. This was a very expensive option, but it's, thank goodness somebody got it because it's so beautiful. You have the vents for the air. These, one complaint I have, these feel kind of cheap. Like they're clearly plastic. I wish Mercedes had done metal. I mean, it's an AMG at the end, so, but it is what it is. This is how you close them. So they are pretty cool. I mean, it is nice. The gimmick is pretty cool. Up here, you have your main infotainment screen, so you control it through here with the dial, or of course through this. So you can push all that. As you guys can see, radio. One of my favorite aspects of the newer Mercedes interiors is this, let me go scroll down a little bit, is the full-on interior lighting. So of course, I have the ambient lighting set on. I don't know if you guys can really see it, but I have it on purple because I love this color. I love it at night especially, and it's down there. It's underneath here. It's very pretty. And of course, you can pick from a different colors. You can adjust your own. So you have purple sky, which is like sort of a combination of multiple things. So if we click ocean blue, it'll go full on blue, which is pretty cool. If you click on red moon, that one is sort of cool. It changes between like a red, purplish, pinkish red. So that's pretty cool that it does that. We do have, of course, fire red, which is also just kind of like a yellowish, reddish. It's kind of hard to see, but maybe you guys can spot it down there. And of course, there's also green. I mean, I'm spending more time on the colors than anything else, but it is super cool. As you guys, I don't know if you guys can see it. It's kind of hard to see, but yeah, let's go back to the purple one because I think that's my favorite one. But regardless of all that, it is a very quick, usable screen. All you got to do is just kind of, you know, just kind of flick this over. So you have a bunch of stuff. You have, of course, navigation, radio, media, phone, Mercedes Connect, and all that. It's very easy to use and it's very quick. I do like it. It's not confusing. Down here, you also get all your, of course, all your buttons for everything. So this is the dynamic controller. If you flick this, like, let's say up, that's individual. So yeah, as you can see, individual is basically configured for, that's comfort. So it'll shut the motor as far down as it can so it could save. That's sport, sport plus, and of course you do hear the exhaust a little bit. So let's go back to comfort because I want to show you guys. So this is what it sounds like in basically comfort balance mode. So it sounds all right. I mean, it's not special. Then you click this button right here and So I mean, it's not gonna sound the best because it is a, you know, it does have a hybrid assist, so it's not the best thing out there, but it is pretty good. I do like it. Of course, you have manual options, suspension, traction control, and all that. Here you have a more storage. You can have USB outlets and everything. All in all, very beautiful interior, full panoramic roof up there, and of course the sound system. I wish I could show you guys this Burmester sound system, but of course we'd get copyrighted. But it sounds so good. It's probably the best in the industry. I really do believe so. Up there, I don't know if you guys can see the heads-up display. Maybe you can. It's like right there. Maybe you can see it a little bit. I don't know. Heads-up display, of course, you can configure that as well. It's super cool. I mean, it is a beautiful interior. And when you take turns, these seats do hug you because they are active multi-contour. So they will hug you. Of course, they also have massaging options, whatever you want. It's crazy. Down here, you have all your climate control stuff. You have a nice clock. And then, of course, you can have these are like the quick connect buttons. So if you want to go straight from radio to Navi or whatnot, instead of going back to menu, you could do that. Beautiful interior. I love it. But honestly, the whole aspect of this car, let's go check out that motor and then let's take it on the road because that's really what I want to do. Here it is. This is Mercedes's all new, built for this platform, twin turbo, hybrid assisted, 3-liter inline-six. Mercedes hasn't produced a gas powered inline-six in the States since the late 90s. Honestly, you had like things like the C36 and the E320. That was it. And then they went to V6 options. So this is crazy that they went back to inline-six. And this thing makes about 430 horsepower. So it's pretty quick. I mean, it moves. It's a very quick car. And then that all-wheel drive system is just crazy. Of course, because it is a hybrid, you do get pretty good gas mileage. It's about 22 in the city and like 29, 30-ish on the highway, depending on how you drive it. So it's not the best, but it's also a pretty heavy car. It does have a 4-wheel drive system, the 4MATIC Plus. So we will discuss all that once we get on the drive. And I really want to do that because I really want to drive this car. I want to see how it drives. But all in all, beautiful platform. I'm excited to see how this thing drives. Made it to that 9-speed automatic that Mercedes has. So I'm very excited to see this because your engine options are literally this, the base model 2-liter 4-cylinder, or the monstrous twin turbo V8 that comes in the E53, which makes like 630-ish horsepower. So that thing's a beast, and I really want to drive one, but this will suffice for now. So let's go ahead and hop in it. Let me set up the GoPros and let's take it out on the road and see how this thing drives. So setting off in the 2020 Mercedes E53 AMG. This thing is, I tell you guys, man, it is super cool. It is super nice. It's well refined, and it's basically what you expect. It's a Mercedes AMG. I mean, what more could you want from a, I guess you can say, top of the line luxury high performance sedan? I mean, it handles super nice. It is just, it's like nothing I've ever seen. And now we're stopped at a light, and of course it does turn off because it has that stupid auto start stop. You can disable it, but this thing is just like nothing else I've ever driven. I mean, it's super nice in here. It's super quiet. Road noise is non-existent, honestly. And of course, there is a suspension mode for where you can switch it between like Sport Plus or Comfort. I'm in Comfort right now because that's just how I want to start off. And it's super nice in here. It basically just floats on, you know, these bumps. You don't even feel the bumps. It handles super nice. The handling is on point. It's basically instant to where when you point it, it just goes. Now, of course, this thing is also very quick because it has oh my gosh, it's very quick because it does have that you know, of course it does have the all-wheel drive system, the 4MATIC Plus, so it just takes off. And that hybrid, I just did a mild little launch. I just stomped on it and it took off. I mean, you guys saw that. I wasn't acting. I didn't throw myself in the seat. It just does that. That's how fast this car is. But it was also, you know, I put it in Sport Plus because so we could hear the exhaust better. But if you switch it from Comfort to Sport, it does turn on the exhaust automatically to a, they call it powerful, so you do hear it more, and it does give a nice little burble pop sort of thing. So it is very nice. And when you put it in Sport, it also does turn on the suspension configuration is called Sports 1 or Sports 2. Very similar to my car. I have a 2004 E55 AMG. Very similar to that car, to where it's different levels of sport. So it's not, if sports 2 is the basically the stiffest, the most sport oriented, and then sport 1 is like a nice medium between comfort and sports 2. So we're in sport 1 right now because I didn't put it in sport plus. I've said sport like 16 times now, but you guys get the idea. It is very nice. It does kind of stiffen it a little bit, so you do feel a little bit more of the bumps, the imperfections in the road, but that's normal. I mean, of course, this is also an AMG, so when you throw it in that very high stiff mode, it does what it's supposed to do. It basically is a track focused supercar. Now, the one thing I must say I'm not the biggest fan of in this car, it's just how the motor sounds. It's like when it's idling, it's very ticky. It's like that, but that's normal because of the injectors and everything, and it doesn't feel like it doesn't sound like a high-end car, but of course it is. I mean, maybe I'm just picking at things, but let me do another little acceleration right here, getting on the highway. And we are in sport, of course, but you kind of just point it and yeah, this car will get you in trouble very quickly. It is very quick. It's not E53 AMG fast, of course, but it is nonetheless a very quick car. For a daily driver, this thing is sweet. I'm gonna throw it back into comfort so it will stop holding the revs as high. It does, of course, have all the safety equipment on it. It does have what is it called, lane keeping assist. It does also have, as I mentioned, Distronic cruise control. So what that'll do is if I set the cruise control right now, it'll basically follow the car in front of me for basically as long as I stay behind him. It'll speed up, it'll slow down, it'll stay in its own lane, it'll steer for you. It's not like Tesla autopilot crazy, but it's also not like just normal cruise control. It's also like, it's like a beta, if that makes any sense. It's like a light version of autopilot, but it's super cool. I really like it. It also does require you to keep your hands on the steering wheel. It will beep at you if you take them off the steering wheel for more than about, I think, 10 minutes or something, like, oh no, 10 seconds. So it's kind of annoying, but it's a very quick car. I'm gonna throw it in Sport Plus real quick and then yeah, this thing will get you in trouble very very quickly. Now I put it in manual right now, and you do get some burbles. Let's see if we can get some when I downshift. Nah, I guess, well, yeah, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but they're very, very minimal, just kind of, so it's nothing crazy. I mean, it's not ridiculous, but you do get that nice turbo, you know, turbo spooling up noise. You do hear that. I love it. I love this car. This thing is just out of, oh my gosh. This thing is a sweet daily drive, I tell you guys. But then again, you also have to compare it to its competition. So this thing directly competes with the BMW M550i. And that, of course, has a twin turbo V8. So it is faster, but it is also, oh, that lane keeping. See, I kind of went off the lane and it kind of threw me back in the lane. But the twin turbo V8 probably is faster, but it also guzzles a lot more gas, because since this hybrid sort of kind of just, you know, keeps it very nice and sort of just leveled, if that makes any sense to you guys. It keeps the car at a good, reasonable medium to where it's very quick because the electric motor is instant, but it also gets great gas mileage because of how it is. So I like it. I'm a big fan. If I was looking for a specific daily driver, because I already have a loud V8 car, I have my E55, I would probably buy this car, but I would go for the coupe. I really like how the coupe looks. I am a big fan of the coupe, and I would go for that because, you know, I'm a younger guy. If you're married with kids, you probably should get the sedan, but if you're not, if you're kind of like me, then I would go for the coupe. But let's be honest here, I'd say I'm gonna buy this and then I'm just gonna go out and buy an E63 because that's what I love. But yeah, let me know down below, you guys. I'd love to hear from you guys. Would you guys pick the M5 or not? Okay, never mind, not the M5 because that competes with something else. Would you go for this, or maybe the BMW counterpart, their the M550i? Audi's counterpart is the S6. That's also a quick car. That's pretty cool. We also have things like, you know, of course you can also upgrade to the E63, which is a super, super cool car. It is a very quick car as well. And in turn, you also have Cadillac's new offerings. Their CTS, not the Blackwing that competes with the E63, but their basic version of this car. Would you go for this, or would you go for the BMW or even the E63? I'd probably go for the E63 if we're being honest here, but this is not something I'd overlook. But I want to thank you guys all so much for watching this video. Let me know down below, what would you guys pick? I'd love to hear from you guys, and I hope you guys all so much. But let me know down below, what would you guys go for? But thank you guys all so much for watching this video. I hope you guys all have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take it easy.